नमस्ते दोस्तों, आप सभी का स्वागत है सेहतशाला के डॉक्टर टॉक में। मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि आप सभी लोग स्वस्थ हैं, तंदुरुस्त हैं और मुस्कुरा रहे हैं। तो चलिए इंटरव्यू की शुरुआत करते हैं।
नमस्ते सर, आपका हमारे सेहतशाला में तहे दिल से स्वागत है। सो अ वेरी हैप्पी वर्ल्ड हेल्थ डे टू यू टुडे टू बिगिन विद।
Thank you, Shilka. A very, very happy World Health Day to you too, and to all the viewers.
Okay, so let's begin then.
Yes, certainly.
Okay, all right. So today on the occasion of World Health Day, could you give us like a brief overview on the healthcare scenario in India by identifying key challenges and priorities besides role policies?
Yes. Shilka, I'd like to touch upon some of those fundamental core issues. See, jahin se sab kuch shuru hota hai. Because unless we get into those, we'll reach nowhere. Now, so many years after independence, okay, now we have to look at the broad, parameters. Health, is a very important thing for well-being of a nation. It's a very important component of Human Development Index. As per the United Nations, it is one of the three major parameters of HDI. And मुझे बहुत सी खुशी नहीं होती when I mention the data here in terms of our position globally on the Human Development Index. We are barely 139. Okay, and since health is an important component, I'm sure education and there are other components too. So therefore, we have reason to be concerned about. Secondly, अगर हम उसको ना भी माने, there is something known as Healthcare Index, which is evolved by a global organization and endorsed by Lancet. Lancet is a very reputed magazine dealing with all research on health issues. There we figure out 151 out of 196 in healthcare services. तो कहीं ना कहीं कमियां रह गई हैं. Yes, at the national level, if dispassionately we talk about health, it has been a story of having a spectrum with contrasting landscape. At one end of the spectrum, we can say we take lots of delight in saying that we totally eradicated polio from the face of this country. We've been able to control HIV to a large extent. We've been able to handle Kala Azar and dengue and many of those diseases too. But when on the other side of the spectrum, well, diseases like tuberculosis, we have not been able to eradicate completely, though, of course, now we given a commitment to the world that by 2025, as per the Sustainable Development Goals, we'll eradicate TB. Okay, and TB still, as far as we are concerned, we'll end up losing 1,400 people every day. Then there are issues of other non-communicable diseases. Then there is a huge range of cardiovascular problems. Diabetes has grown phenomenally. We are almost like a diabetes capital of the world. So malaria also, we are coping with it. So there are NCDs, which account for nearly 62% of deaths in India every year, or the NCDs. So they are formidable challenges. I wouldn't say we haven't done. We have done remarkably well in terms of our National Health Mission program. Our projects, like I tell everyone, RNTCP began, and our National TB Elimination Program treated more than 8 million people. Europe में एक country की population 3 billion होती है. 18 billion people is not a joke in treating 8-9 years. And it's possibly the world's largest anti-TB program. Similarly, even for National Rural Health Mission, we are doing things, we are moving on, but no matter how much we do is not enough. This is what I'm trying to come to. 1.38 billion people, okay, and diseases on the rampage, forever they are rising. And COVID has made things even worse for us now. We all thought it went away. Now we're in the middle of vaccine. Now yesterday, some people tell me the younger people also need vaccine. Now there's a lot of wastage on vaccine going on. You must tell everyone that we must utilize every vaccine. Let the RWS do it. Let the local associations do it. Waste on you, get the youngsters in the colony and do it, because young people will get it passed it on to the elders in the family. Another big problem health scenario to understand at the macro level is that almost 75 to 78% people seek healthcare in the private sector. And rural India, which has more than 75% people, has only 16% hospitals. Okay, today we have one doctor to service 10,500 people. WHO recommendation is 1:1,000. So it's 1:10,500. When it comes to total figure of patients per hospital, for 3,000 people, there is one hospital, however small that may be available. And for 30,000 people in the country, there is one state hospital for 30,000. Now, all these figures do not even compare very happily, even with some of our Asian neighbors. So these are all little alarm signs for us that the infrastructure needs far more attention. Where are we going to get infrastructure from? That's why I say, if 1.2% of our GDP, if we increase to 2.5, and we have been making this recommendation for a very long time, and of course, let's not do to 4%, 5%. There are, like I told you, small neighbors also have 4%, 3.8%. Even if we double it, make it 2.5, most of it could be spent only in creation of infrastructure for the time. We need hospitals in rural India. We need healthcare in rural India. Okay, where healthcare is in a mess, then there's problem of private practitioners. Since large part of it is in private sector, and our treatment in private sector pushes 60 million people into poverty every year, 55 million to 60 million. This is all organized data. Okay. Then private sector is vaguely regulated. There is almost no regulation. Who's taking what medicine? Then what kind of a control is there on the medicines? Okay. Are they spurious? Are they being taken in the right quantities as per the right protocol regimen? So there is very little check on this at the moment. Okay. So we have to concentrate a lot on that. Of course, Jan Aushadhi Yojana, Pradhan Mantri can declare so that affordable medicines can be. But let me also touch one point here. We are one of the biggest resources in the world for producing medicine. We have huge amount of reputed pharmaceuticals. India exports to Brazil, South Africa, Russia, even China. Okay, very large part of our medicines for tuberculosis are exported from India. Okay, and not only tuberculosis, many other antibiotics. I had a dental problem some time back. I had gone to a dental and they subscribed to me very traditional antibiotic. So I went to get a pack of 10, and I looked at the chemist. I asked him how much. He said 11 rupees. So I said one tablet for 11 rupees. He said no, pura patta 11 rupees. So I was absolutely shaken. So this means generic drug is within India's capacity. Okay, historically we have had huge reservoir producing medicine. So let us capitalize on it. Generic drug बनाने में क्या problem है? हम export कर रहे हैं, तो उसको कहीं ना कहीं बांटने में problem है ना? So now this PM Jan Aushadhi program has started so that affordable medicines can be given to poor people. But the point is कहीं ना कहीं कमियां उनके पहुंचने में रहेंगी. So we have to streamline those things. तो ये सब चीजें हो जाएंगी तो आस्ते आस्ते ठीक हो जाएंगी. Secondly, also on the policy, like I always talk, policy is the rock, is the bedrock of everything. Policy ठीक होगी तो policy framework ठीक बनेगा. Policies आगे जो rules, procedures, processes बनेंगे ठीक निकलेंगे. So our policies must be viable. They must lead to encouragement of capacity creation. Capacity build होनी चाहिए ना, तभी तो खत्म होगा healthcare problem इंडिया में. And thirdly, capacities must be consultative through the lens of consultation with other stakeholders. ये नहीं कि ड्राइंग रूम में बैठ के मैं पॉलिसी बना दूं किसी बीमारी के लिए, और जो बीमारी से बेचारे उलझे हुए हैं लोग, उनके और जो उनसे जुड़े हुए हैं उनकी कोई सलाह ना हो. Therefore, it must be consultative. All stakeholders must be involved, and then our policies must be multi-pronged and multi-dimensional. Why I use the word multi-dimensional? There is an element of multi-sectoral approach. जैसे टीबी है, अब tuberculosis या for that matter एक बीमारी भी है. So it is no more a domain of health ministry. What is health? Health is giving nation its well-being. Well-being is not only the job of health minister or the health minister.
Correct.
It is also responsibility of a ministry which is dealing with nutrition. Also in of the ministry dealing with environment. Environment ठीक नहीं रहेगा, pollution रहेगी तो respiratory disease होगी. तो health minister क्या कर लेगा उसमें?
So do you agree that gross shortage of, human resource, including doctors, nurses, and health workers, is a major obstacle in realizing our goal? And do you think that is there any innovative strategy, like mostly now AI, ML is come into picture? So will it help in overcoming this shortcoming?
भाई हमारे 1.38 बिलियन पीपल हैं. सरकार के पास जितना इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, सरकार has also limitation. सरकार has constraints. After all, एक 1.4 बिलियन पीपल को पहुंचने के लिए, if you look at universal health care, इतने आदमी कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच पाएंगे, कहाँ इलाज कर लेंगे? तो this obviously mean क्यों नहीं ये हो पा रहा? वो इसलिए नहीं हो रहा. हमारे पास डॉक्टरों की कमी है, हमारे पास नर्सिंग की कमी है, हमारे पास हेल्थ वर्कर्स की कमी है. Like I said, we have one doctor for 10,500 people as against 1,000. So there is deficiency of nearly 90%. So अब कहाँ से लाएंगे डॉक्टर? Now let us go back to the basics. The basics is a doctor does his MBBS, he does his internship, does his master's degree. Okay, then he works in a hospital. So he gives about 8, 9, 10 years. वो 19-20 साल में शुरू करता. By the time 30, he is a full-fledged postgraduate doctor. But look at the amount of money his parents have spent on him. Look at the capitation fee. A good medical college in Delhi, I do not want to talk about those figures, but it runs into lakhs and runs into crores. The fact is that capitation fee is part of what he spends. Now, a man who's going to spend that kind of money on his education and on the capitation fee, borrowing heavily from relatives, friends of bank or wherever, उसको आप कौन से शहर में भेजोगे, गांव में भेजोगे काम करने के लिए? He's not going to go. And it's not that this problem occurred only in India. Okay, it happened in Canada, it happened in Australia. I was talking to my Canadian friends. I'm a senior advisor on Health Forum of Federations in Canada, and I often discuss this problem with them. And they told me that for 4 years, this problem was very, very critical. Because Canada also has a huge geography, like Australia. So कोई जाने के लिए तैयार नहीं होता था. But then they gave them enormous amount of incentives, almost 2.5 times the salary. But can you do that in India? Yeah, we don't have money.
How can we harness the role of digital technology in overcoming deficiencies of health infrastructure, according to you?
See, digital technology is a God-given boon to us and we consider ourselves as a remarkable IT country. We've been able to export IT services, we've been specialized in IT, and I think it will help us overcome some of our greatest critical health infrastructure shortages. See, Africa gave a lead few years ago. I remember when I was looking at TV, they started mobile app. Okay, and through that app, even post-care treatment, checking that you received the medicine, sending messages, okay, have you taken tablets today? How many have you taken? So all this on app, it all started. Then we pushed the government that we should have our own portal. We set up Nikshay portal. Now, today Nikshay portal is used so extensively. We even transfers are done, money transfer, for social support for TB. Money transfer is done through transfers. I mean, look at the comfort of your home. You can receive that 600 rupees. Then all chronic cases, doctor के पास तो आप जा नहीं सकते हैं. And through digital technology, you can follow up. Post surgery, okay, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you have to follow up. You can use digital technology. Okay, now there is so much that you can do in terms of telemedicine, because order of the day. And this even reinforces my case that tomorrow if you have those senior paramedics working in rural areas, should they need any help, he rings up the doctor, have a telemedicine consultation for 2 minutes. Now can I give doxylene? This person has this infection in the throat, can give doxylene. It works beautifully. So telemedicine ho gaya, teleconferencing ho gaya, all this is going to help. Plus also even patients medical cards can all be teleprinted. Electronic, they can be all electronic cards, which can be in your computer. All your वो आगे जैसे कार्ड बना के हाथ से लिख के बनाते थे, नर्सिंग सिस्टम की जरूरत नहीं है. Everything is on your laptop and your computer. We have to gel together, bring synergy between various organizations, the government, state government, private sector, and private sector के हमें public private partnership के मॉडल बनाने पड़ेंगे. वो मॉडल अलग अलग स्टेट के लिए अलग अलग होंगे. हमने टीबी के लिए शुरू किया था पटना से, फिर हम मैसाना गए, फिर हम मुंबई गए आपके, फिर हम और बहुत से शहरों में गए. अभी 280 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में पब्लिक प्राइवेट मॉडल प्रैक्टिस हो रहा है. एंड एक हमारा जीत है टीबी का जीत प्रोजेक्ट, जॉइंट एफर्ट फॉर एलिमिनेशन ऑफ टीबी, एंड ग्लोबल फंड इज डूइंग इन कोलैबोरेशन विद गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एंड विद पाथ एंड अदर सिविल सोसाइटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सारे मिलके कर रहे हैं. तो मिलजुल के काम करने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है. You know, they always say cross-pollination of ideas is the best way to bring greater outcomes.
Okay, all right. So, I guess we've come to the end of the interview now. It was a pleasure talking to you, sir, and it was an honor to have you on the show. We hope to have you many more times on the show and talk with you on various topics. Thanks a lot. आपका तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा.
From my heart, I'm a former soldier who has fought war for this country. I speak from the core of my heart for love of this country, and we have everything. It is only a question of putting things together. It's like a mosaic. Let us create a good mosaic, and we'll be on top of the world.
धन्यवाद दोस्तों, वीडियो के अंत तक जुड़े रहने के लिए. लाइक कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल बटन दबाना ना भूलिए. दोस्तों, अगर आपको कुछ कहना है तो जरूर कहिए इन द कमेंट्स बिलो. वी आर वेटिंग टू हियर यू. मैं हूं शुल्का जवान और आप देख रहे हैं सेहतशाला.